What are your memories of listening to KFIZ growing up as a Fondy boy?
Okay, KFIZ. First memories, Tim Baby and I think Doug McGrath broadcast the fireworks. And I thought, that's wild. As I look back on it, I go, hey, let's broadcast the fireworks. And they did from Lakeside Park. And I remember like sitting in the car and everyone was looking at the fireworks. I was listening to the radio. Why do where are they? Where are they? How do they? Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, Tim, that was a blue one with green colors in it and sparkles. Yes, it was great. I thought, that's the weirdest programming. I try to sell that one today. And then some other programming genius. Um, this is when I was first like mesmerized by the microphone. Second grade Cub Scouts. We go into KFIZ. We're going to see a radio studio. How does radio work? And we're going to pray the rosary as Cub Scouts. Another great programming idea. we're gonna pray the rosary. And I went in there and I went past the guys who were working, and that was Doug McGrath. And I think it was Ron, but I was watching him talking to Mike. Anyway, today coming up in the news, blah, blah. And I went, oh my God. I just want to go. I want to do that. Second grade. I was blown away by it. And Wally, do you know Wally Kahns? Have you heard the name Wally Kahns?
Yeah, heard of
We
the
know
name.
Joe. Yeah, we know Joe Gazer. Great guy, great human being. Joe Gazer, a great human being and a great broadcaster. Wally Kahns was the sports director at WFON, not KFIZ. And he let me do sports. I thought I was going to be the color guy. And then he would just get up and he'd go, okay, take it. It's Springs versus whoever, Ron Colley. Take it. He'd walk away. And then I would do the broadcast and it would be like this. This is no lie. It'd be like, basket by Rob Hutter. And the applause would be 5 minutes after I said, because I was so, let's see, I was the worst sportscaster in the history of sports. There's no question about it, but he gave me a shot. That's what people are missing today, a shot like that. I had a shot. And anyway, Ron Harvey taught me about showbiz. He was great. My first memory and the way I got to Ron Harvey. Do you want to know that or?
Yeah,
no?
absolutely.
Okay. So I was taking drum lessons from Denny Baggett. The guy's name is Denny Baggett. And he was on the air at WFON. And so I said, you're on the radio? You're on the radio in Fond du Lac? He goes, yeah. He goes, come on down. You can watch me. So I would watch him every day. Watch, how did he do the board? Where did this go? Where's the switches? How does this work? Okay. And one day I just went, I said, I just want to do this. Can I do it? He goes, just keep watching me. Don't worry about it. You'll do it someday. He was telling me. I went into Ron's office. I remember him because he was sitting there at a desk like this. He's writing, and I stood up in front there and I go, hey, Ron, can I ask you a question? I was thinking about, watching Danny. I'm thinking about going into broadcasting. What do you have any recommendations for schools or some place? She'd go, he didn't even look up, goes, you don't need to go to school. Just go watch Danny. That's it. And I watched Danny. And one day, Danny did the Wally Kahns. I'm talking, it's 5 to noon. He stands up and goes, it's all yours. See you later. He walks out. And he leaves me. He was in the parking lot. I found out later. He told me later. We got him on here to talk about this. He was in the parking lot, but I hit the news, the mutual news would go, and you had to hit. If you missed it, and then I had a card up, Fred Wagner weather. And if I missed that, you could always hear me screwing it up. But that's how Danny, Ron, and then Ron, I took over for Danny as Ron's drummer. And there we are. The rest is, one more thing, which is, you said, Mike, what are my memories of KFIZ? Then I watched Ron Harvey. Remember, still growing up. They don't know me. I don't know them. I don't know why we were in there again. Maybe I just found any way to get in that studio. And I watched Ron and Doug McGrath do Santa Claus and the Elf. I was going, that guy's the elf voice? As a kid, you're believing this. I don't know what you have for today. Read that letter. Oh, it's a young boy over on Gillette Street. No. And I and then Ron's voice, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, Sean, was Ron Danny the elf?
Ron was Danny the elf, and Doug was Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, and I actually when I was in Chicago, where I would do bits, I would be Santa, and then the people we would just jack with everybody, but it was all the little boys on the line. What does he want? And then somebody, well, he's the elf. He wants to come over. Okay, that was magical. That was magical. They all influenced me so much. They just really, really, truly did. And I tried to get that in the Hall of Fame stuff, but it was just too much. And it was a whole crazy night. But I just want to make sure that their families, Ron, Linda Bothy, Bill Bothy, here's another great programming tip. So Denny leaves. I get the 8 to midnight shift when I'm in high school, 8 to midnight. And I said, well, Ron, okay, wait, it's 4 hours. What am I supposed to do? He said, 1, just keep it on the air. 2, just keep it on the air. I go, well, what you want me to play music? Can I just take phone calls? He goes, I don't care. And then his son, Bill, would bring in box of albums, and we just pick any albums we wanted. And I just created whatever I wanted to do. I would bring in Spit Peeper from Arbuckles. He would play live. I'd bring in Mario Frito from Fond du Lac. He'd play live. I'd interview whoever I wanted. I made calls wherever I wanted. And when I couldn't get any calls, which there were no calls, 8 to midnight, I would have my brothers call as fake callers. Hey, man, I just wanted to say, can you play that song? It was a place to learn. It was a place to grow. It just, and my friends would show up, and we got to be whatever drinking age was there, 18 drinking age, and Fond du Lac, I think it's 4. So they would say, come on, we're going to Arbuckles. And I go, it's 11 o'clock. I got to be here till noon. I mean, till midnight. I got to be here till midnight. And they go, just turn it off. Nobody's listening. And I'd look around and I go, okay. And you used to have to play at midnight, you'd have to play the national anthem, right? You have to play, we're signing off the air now. WFON Fond du Lac leaves the air. And now the national anthem. So I play, I think, okay, I'm getting out of here. And then I see this hotline ring. It's Lola Beckman. Lola Beckman listened. That's all that mattered. She was great. Lola Beckman. Did you just sign off? And I would say, we had a technical problem. She goes, what tech? I said, oh, wait a minute. It's coming back. Go over there, throw the switch. Lola Beckman. Yeah. Do you remember the name Lola Beckman?
Yeah, I remember that name too. Yeah.
I think they owned the Beer Hut at one point. I think they had something to do with the Beer Hut. I'm not sure.
What was it like being in the band with Ron?
Great. With Ron, watching Ron Harvey work from behind the drum set was a learning experience in itself, because he knew how to work a crowd. He knew how to make them part of the show. It wasn't just a guy who stood up there and played. He loved what he was doing. And we did some crazy, I just learned a lot of stuff. I just was not afraid to just jump out past the drum sets. We did a song called Behind Closed Doors. It was a big hit at the time. When we get behind closed doors, blah, blah, blah. I would walk out of the door and Ron would keep singing. I would walk out the door of the Holiday Inn, come back in behind the closed door. Get it so far, people? It's hilariously funny. Don't try to steal it. And I came back with a bra around my neck. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. And Ron saying, come on now. Come on. What that is, once again, that's magic.
It is.
That is magic. And then you'd hear people just go, play a polka. He'd do whatever they wanted, play a polka. But yeah, he was showbiz. Ron was showbiz. We go over to the house. He had a swimming pool. Ron Harvey had a swimming pool. Enough said. Forget about it. Off a swimming pool. He was great. Great.
What about Joe Gazer? Any memories
Joe
from
Gazer,
listening or hanging around with Joe?
I don't think I hung around with Joe. I might have. He was my initial instinct, Sean, when the minute you say his name, kindness, sweet, nice, great sounding broadcaster. He was great. Doug did the new, wait, you tell me. Doug McGrath, and by the way, they were both kind of cut, I believe, from the same cloth. They were both really sweet, nice human beings who raise sweet, nice kids. Really. So, and that comes from dad. There's no question. They were just the greatest. Um, Joe Gazer, to me, he's a legend. These guys, to me, you grew up in Fond du Lac, so you know what I'm saying. These guys are legends. Now everything's piped in, it's satellite, you don't know what's what. But in back in the day, I don't think people who are young, too young, get it. But back in the day, when you wanted to know what was going on down on at Sabish High School, turn the radio on. Someone will be talking about it. You want to know what a spring score was. You want to know what the Ledger score was. You want to know what the Cardinal score was. You want to know the news. You turn on KFIZ. It was like part of your house. It was like, and then WF1, of course. When we went FM, we were giving away FM converters. That's how old I am. We were giving away FM converters at WFON because nobody, oh, you're on FM. Who's going to listen to that? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was cool. I couldn't have been happier to be part of that Fond du Lac world. Yeah, I hated her. I loved it. There's no doubt about that. I sure did. And then you go over to get the fish fry and, oh, come on. I'm getting homesick right now.
I could tell. Do you get back much, if at all?
Well, I'm in Upper Wisconsin right now. I'm in Upper Wisconsin. I'm on a lake right now.
Where, really?
That's where I'm in, Upper Wisconsin right now. So I get through Fondy. My buddies are there. Tom Petrie, Beats is in there. Jerome, my other high school buddies live there. A couple of them do. I'm very close with those guys. Those guys are great. The last time I was in Fondy for a while was for my mom being in hospice. So, and then, you know, that wasn't fun, but Fondy, always loved it. Loved Fondy. I mean, what kind of a place? The bars would close at 2:00, and then you'd go to Petrie's down on Main Street, and you could eat fish, or you could go across the street to the lighthouse and eat all the fish you wanted to eat at 2 a.m. What could be better than that? What could be smarter? I think that should be a health show somewhere. Shouldn't that be like a, hey, if you want to, okay, now, hey, how you doing there? This is Eddie Abler. Here's what we're going to do now for the health show today. We're going to go down to the Petrie's. Well, first you're going to stay at the bar. You could stay at Odette's, or you can go to Arbuckle's or the Bloom or the Tap Room or Irish's. I don't care where you go, but you can go down there. Stay till 2:00. Don't ever leave before close. Those lights go on, you get out. Then I'll tell you something else. Here's what else you want to do. Then you want to go across the street to one of the fine eating establishments and eat all the haddock you can throw into your gut until your gut is out to here, and then go to sleep. I'm telling you, that was not far from the truth, man. Oh,
That's
tell
the
me if I'm
Fondy
wrong.
way.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm
No,
not.
the Fondy way.
Yeah, that is the Fondy way, man. That's funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
What are you up to these days? How can people keep
Okay.
tabs on you and enjoy your content?
Okay, right now, during the pandemic, I built a studio in my house and we did 50 episodes, but the pandemic was there. I was doing it alone, editing the show. So those are available everywhere you get a podcast, Brandmeier podcast. They're all there. Then, of course, you go to brandmeiershow.com and you'll find all the interviews we did with a lot of the people that have been on the show. Eddie Van Halen, all these different people, classic interviews, and some of the Jimmy Buffett. By the way, I'm doing Zoom, but the first Zoom I did in the pandemic that I've ever done was with Jimmy Buffett.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why that was exciting. Because I clicked, he clicked. Can you hear me, Jimmy? Are you here? Can you hear me? No, hey, JB, I can't hear you. Okay, tell you what, Jimmy. So I was getting embarrassed. You know, I can't connect with him. No. We got to learn this together, Jimmy goes. We'll learn it together. And so I go, no, I tell you what, I'll just call you. He goes, no. I'm going to see your pretty face. I want to see it right now. We're going to do this. And it finally 30 minutes. He never hung up. We just kept trying to get on. And there we go, talking about his new album. And that's another example of a great human being. And do you remember when Jimmy Buffett, he was live at Wrigley Field and he yells, hello, Fond du Lac. I thought, so I called him. I said, were you talking to me? I wasn't there. And he goes, no, I was talking to Mario Friedel. White Duck. Do you know the history of that?
No.
Mario Friedel and Donnie Simpson. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's passed away now. These were my favorite performers in Fond du Lac at Arbuckle's. And they were White Duck. They were Jimmy's first band. Mario Friedel He played at my wedding, Mario Friedel did. Huh. So there's the history of Fond du Lac that people, a lot of history, a lot of history. If that makes any sense. But yeah, um, that was my first Zoom. That's what I'm doing. And so anyway, to that, get to your point, we're in the middle of doing some things now, trying to put a deal together. And when we do, hopefully strong back. I'd like to start setting up at the end of fall and be blasting in 2023. That's my goal. So we'll do something. Yeah, there's some really interesting things out there. You can sit here and do what you want, but I want to be in an environment where we're live and we're streaming, we're in control. You can't have one day you're on the air and the next day, the entire lineup is gone. It's not going to get better in radio. It's just not. People think it is. It's not. Is it? If you think it is, it's not going to.
No, sadly, no, I agree.
No. Look what you're doing now. You don't need radio. You don't need no stinking radio. You're Sean.
Final thoughts. KFIZ at 100. What a legacy.
KFIZ. They were everything to me. By the way, I try to zip through it when I come in. Tell me if they have local programming anymore, because I don't. They used to have a guy.
Yeah, live 6 to 8. Jerry St. John. He's been the longtime morning host for them. And
there was another guy who did more community stuff and interviews. And I used to like that too, because it just brought me back home a little bit.
Bob Hoffmaster.
That's it. The Hoffmaster.
Huffy is no longer there. He retired, I guess you would say, a couple right before the pandemic.
Yeah,
maybe during the pandemic.
That wiped out a lot of people.
Another Fondy guy, and a little pat on my back, if I humbly can.
Go ahead.
When I left KFIZ in 2005, I recommended Bob because they were looking for someone to do a local talk show. And at that time, he was just doing sports. And I knew the guy was so much more talented than sports. I said, he's Fond du Lac native, and he has so many interests. This guy just, he might be a little rough around the edges, but he's easy to listen to, and he does his homework, and he does a fantastic interview. Give Hoffy a show. And I'm proud to say that, gosh, the guy did it for about the next 15, 16 years.
Let me be clear. I'm not just saying this. I wouldn't say anything to say it. And I drive in, I scan to get to 1450. Then I hear the Hoffmaster, that guy. And I thought, he's talking about politics. He's talking about shopping. He's talking about what he ate. And I think rough around the edges is fantastic. But here's the key. He was local.
Yep.
I could relate to him. Oh, he's talking about the Springs. What are they doing over there? When you hear these guys, you're familiar with the name Minocqua, right?
Oh, yeah.
Minocqua, Wisconsin. Oh, yeah, I hate her. When you hear these guys in these stations in this area, in the upper Wisconsin area, go, anyway, this is J.J. Johnson. This is, don't forget that big festival happening in Minocqua coming up in, I go, okay.
Yep.
I know you're in Dallas, dude. You're not, and your name isn't J.J. Johnson. I know that for sure. You know what I mean? When I was at WOSH, they tried to change my name because I was going to go across the street to WYNE Appleton, and they said you have to change your name. This is way sidebar, but I'll just tell you this: at WSH Oshkosh, and I'm going to go to WYNE 1150 AM. I'm going to make the big move. Okay. So Phil Robbins, the general manager, says, you're not going to go over there and be John Brandmeier. We built you up over here. Built me up. Okay. How'd you build me up? So he said, call yourself John Brandy or John Francis. I said, my dad will kill me. I'm not changing my last name. There's no way. He goes, well, okay. How about Jonathon Brandmeier? I signed a piece of paper. I have the paper. I have it signed. John Brandmeier is now officially called Jonathon Brandmeier. Signed, Phil Robbins. Can't use his name in the Fox River Valley.
Wow.
I'd like to see you in court. My name. So that's how it became. This is Jonathon Brandmeier. He gave me the name.
Wow, that's crazy.
Phil Robbins, WOSH. Zero in. I did a talk show there on Sunday nights. Most likely hungover. That was good.
It's usually the best radio.
See what I mean? Rough around the edges. You just said Hoffmaster, Brandmeier, doesn't matter. Long names and rough around the edges. That's the way I like to be. That's good. You're not rough around the edges. You do a good job, sir.
I appreciate that. Any final thoughts?
No. I have none. If you're in Green Bay, go see my cousins at the pier at the Saruji's Candy Shop.
Oh, hell yeah, we love Cerugis.
You know, that's the monk. That's Tony Shalhoub. That's Tony Shalhoub. I don't say,
Yeah,
they say Shalhoub, I say Shalhoub.
right.
Those are my cousins.
Never knew you were related. Wow.
They're Lebanese, man. Right here, baby. They're my cousins. If you go in there, you just tell them Johnny B. Brandmeier says hello.
Absolutely. Next time I'm
Yeah.
in there, I'm doing
Joe
that.
Sarugi, I think Joe's still there. Joe's still working there. And you go in there, maybe you'll get a free turtle. And tell them it's on me. Anything else you need, you let me know. And if you can tell me what this is when it's all finished, you point me to the right direction. I'd love to see it because seriously, this is a good idea. KFIZ, WFON, Fond du Lac Radio was fun. That's what it should be.
Absolutely. I agree. Appreciate your time, man, very much. Thank you so much, Johnny
Thank
B.
you.
Best of luck with everything. Good health, continued success, my man. Fondy Cardinals, baby.
Not for me. No. Go Ledgers. Just kidding.
And the
See you
legend.
later. No, you and the Ledgers. See you later, boss.
See you, bud.
All right. Bye, Sean.
Bye.